Hello friends. If you are a disabled veteran receiving VA compensation and your medical conditions also keep you from maintaining substantial work, there may be a second federal disability program you should understand: Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI. And here is why this matters. VA disability compensation and SSDI are separate programs. Social Security specifically says the monthly amount and eligibility under one generally do not reduce the other. That means a veteran who independently qualifies under both systems can legally receive both payments at the same time. At the high end, the numbers can cross $8,000 a month. In 2026, a veteran rated 100% with no dependents receives $3,938.58 a month from VA. At the extreme high end of Social Security benefits, a worker with an exceptionally strong lifetime earnings record can be around the $4,152 level. Put those two high-end figures together and you are looking at roughly $8,090 a month. But stop right there, because that is not the normal payment and it is not a promise. Social Security estimates the average disabled worker benefit in 2026 at about $1,630 a month. Your SSDI amount depends on your own Social Security covered earnings history, not your VA percentage. Today, I'm going to show you how VA disability and SSDI can work together, who can qualify, why a 100% VA rating does not automatically win an SSDI claim, what work credit rules matter, the 2026 earnings limits you need to understand, and the steps veterans can take without confusing SSDI with SSI. Stay with me, because that last distinction is where many people misunderstand how the two systems interact. Welcome to Benefit Compass USA, where we break down VA benefits, Social Security, Medicare, senior programs, and payment rules in plain English. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because veterans often deal with two federal systems that use completely different definitions for one important word: disability. Let us start with the most important rule. VA disability compensation and SSDI generally do not offset each other. Social Security's own veterans guidance says the monthly benefit amount and eligibility under SSDI and VA disability are not affected by the other program. You must qualify separately and you must apply separately. But receiving VA disability compensation does not automatically reduce an SSDI payment, and receiving SSDI does not automatically reduce your VA disability compensation. That is very different from Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. SSDI is an insurance program based primarily on your work history and the Social Security taxes paid on your earnings. SSI is a needs-based program for people with limited income and resources. Other disability income can reduce an SSI payment. So whenever somebody tells you, your VA money will reduce your Social Security disability, ask one question: are we talking about SSDI or SSI? The answer can completely change the calculation. Now let us compare the disability tests. VA disability asks whether an illness or injury is connected to military service and how severely that service-connected condition affects you. VA can assign partial ratings at 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 90%, and all the way to 100%. A veteran can have a substantial VA rating and still be working. SSDI is different. Social Security generally requires a medically determinable physical or mental impairment that prevents substantial gainful activity and has lasted, or is expected to last, at least 12 months or result in death. Social Security does not require the condition to have come from military service. It could involve a service-connected condition, a non-service-connected condition, or multiple conditions working together. What SSA cares about is whether your limitations meet Social Security's disability standard. That is why a 100% VA rating does not automatically mean Social Security has to approve you. The agencies follow different laws. A veteran could have a 100% Schedule VA rating and still be denied SSDI if Social Security concludes the veteran is capable of substantial work. On the other hand, a veteran with a VA rating below 100% may still qualify for SSDI if the combined medical limitations prevent substantial gainful activity. Now here is an important advantage for one particular group. Social Security provides expedited processing for veterans with a VA disability compensation rating of 100% permanent and total, commonly called 100% PNT. If you have that rating and apply for SSDI, SSA can give the disability claim priority processing. But expedited does not mean automatically approved. Social Security still evaluates whether you meet its medical and work requirements. If you are 100% PNT and you file an SSDI claim, make sure Social Security knows it. SSA says veterans may need to identify themselves as Veteran 100% PNT and provide the VA notification letter verifying the rating if Social Security has not already identified the status through its VA data match. That can help put your application into the correct expedited processing category. Now let us move to the second major requirement, work credits. VA disability compensation does not require Social Security work credits. SSDI does. In 2026, Social Security says you earn one work credit for each $1,890 in covered wages or self-employment income. You can earn a maximum of 4 credits in 1 year once you have earned $7,560. How many credits you need depends on the age when your disability begins. For many workers age 31 and older, the general rule involves having enough total credits and at least 20 credits during the 10 years before disability. Younger workers can qualify with fewer credits. This is why somebody can be medically disabled and still fail to qualify for SSDI. If too much time passes after a person stops working in Social Security covered employment, that person may eventually lose disability insured status. Your health is one half of the SSDI equation. Your Social Security work history is the other. Before building an entire claim, sign into your My Social Security account or contact SSA and review your earnings history and insured status. Check for missing earnings years too. An incorrect earnings record can potentially affect both eligibility and the payment calculation. Now let us talk about working while applying for SSDI. For 2026, Social Security's substantial gainful activity amount is $1,690 a month for most non-blind individuals and $2,830 for people who meet Social Security's blindness rules. Working above the applicable SGA amount can create a major issue during an initial SSDI claim, although Social Security has detailed rules governing how work activity is evaluated. And here's another important distinction. Your VA disability compensation is not wages. If VA deposits $2,000, $3,000, or nearly $4,000 into your bank account each month, that payment itself is not employment earnings for Social Security's SGA test. The SSDI work test focuses on your work activity and earnings. After someone is already entitled to SSDI, different work incentive rules can apply. In 2026, Social Security says earnings of $1,210 in a month can cause that month to count toward a trial work period. Do not confuse that $1,210 figure with the $1,690 non-blind SGA amount. They are different rules used for different purposes. Now let us look at the monthly money realistically. A veteran rated 70% with no dependents currently receives $1,808.45 a month from VA. If that same veteran independently qualifies for an SSDI benefit near the 2026 disabled worker average of $1,630, the combined amount is roughly $3,438 a month. At 90% VA, the veteran alone rate is $2,362.30. Add an illustrative $1,630 SSDI payment and the combined total becomes approximately $3,992 a month. At 100% VA, the veteran alone rate is $3,938.58. Add an SSDI payment around the current disabled worker average and the total becomes roughly $5,568 a month. That is a far more realistic illustration for many veterans than simply telling everyone they can receive $8,000. So where does the $8,000 headline come from? It comes from combining a very high VA payment with an unusually high Social Security benefit. Take the $3,938.58 veteran alone 100% VA rate and pair it with a Social Security amount around the $4,152 upper range. That produces approximately $8,090.58 per month. But only workers with exceptionally strong Social Security covered earnings histories will approach the top end of the Social Security benefit scale. Most disabled workers receive much less. SSA's estimated average disabled worker benefit after the 2026 COLA is about $1,630. Dependents can also change VA compensation. A veteran rated 100% with a spouse and no children or dependent parents currently receives $4,158.17 instead of $3,938.58. Qualifying children, dependent parents, or a spouse receiving aid and attendance can change the VA amount further. But do not copy another veteran's calculation. Your SSDI benefit is calculated differently from your VA compensation. Going from 70 to 100% VA does not automatically increase SSDI. And getting approved for SSDI does not automatically tell VA to raise your service-connected disability percentage. The programs can sit side by side, but each one keeps its own eligibility rules and payment formula. Now let us talk about evidence, because a strong VA record can still be extremely useful. Your VA decision, CNP examinations, treatment records, imaging, mental health records, medication history, hospital records, and statements about your limitations may all help document an SSDI claim. But simply submitting a letter saying VA rated me 100% may not explain everything Social Security needs to know. SSA needs evidence showing what your conditions prevent you from doing consistently in a work environment. How long can you sit before needing to change positions? How long can you stand or walk? How much can you lift repeatedly? Do medications create severe fatigue or concentration problems? Do migraines regularly force you into a dark room? Do PTSD symptoms interfere with attendance, concentration, adapting to changes, or interacting with other people? Do pain flares or medical appointments cause frequent absences? Those details help connect the diagnosis to actual work-related limitations. The strongest SSDI claim is not simply, "The VA says I am disabled." It is a documented medical record showing why your conditions prevent substantial work under Social Security's separate rules. There is also a timing issue. SSDI generally has a 5 full-month waiting period after the date Social Security determines the disability began. Payments generally begin with the 6th full month of disability, with an exception for qualifying ALS cases. That is one reason not to wait unnecessarily after severe medical conditions have already forced you to stop substantial work. Now let us talk about taxes, because these two payments are treated differently. The IRS says VA disability compensation generally is not included in federal taxable income. SSDI is part of Social Security benefits. Depending on filing status and other household income, some Social Security benefits may become taxable. So even though VA disability and SSDI can be received together, do not assume every dollar of the combined amount receives exactly the same tax treatment. Now here are the steps veterans should check. Step 1. Pull your current VA decision and determine exactly what rating you have. Are you 100% scheduler? 100% PNT? Receiving individual unemployability? Those labels are not interchangeable. Step 2. Check your Social Security earnings record and whether you remain insured for SSDI. Your VA rating does not create Social Security work credits. Step 3. If a severe medical condition prevents substantial work and is expected to last at least 12 months or result in death, review SSDI eligibility and file through Social Security. It is a separate application. Step 4. If you are 100% PNT, clearly identify that status and provide the VA verification letter when needed so your case receives the expedited processing available to that group. Step 5. Provide complete medical records from VA and non-VA providers. Do not list only the service-connected condition with the largest percentage. Social Security can consider the combined effect of medically determinable impairments. Step 6. Describe your functional limitations honestly and specifically. Do not exaggerate them and do not minimize them. Step 7. Understand Social Security's work rules before working during an SSDI claim or after approval. Do not stop legitimate work simply because a video told you that doing so guarantees SSDI. It does not. And finally, remember the SSI warning. VA disability compensation and SSDI can generally be received together without one reducing the other. SSI is different because it is needs-based. Social Security says non-work income, including disability benefits, can reduce an SSI payment. Here is the complete picture. A veteran can legally receive VA disability compensation and SSDI at the same time when that veteran independently qualifies for both programs. VA asks whether disabilities are connected to military service and assigns percentage ratings. SSDI asks whether you have sufficient Social Security work history and whether severe medical limitations prevent substantial gainful work under SSA's rules. One approval does not guarantee the other. The current numbers show why checking matters. VA pays $3,938.58 per month to a 100% veteran alone in 2026. Social Security estimates the average disabled worker payment at about $1,630. Exceptionally high Social Security earners can receive much more, which is how a high-end combined case can approach or exceed $8,000 per month. But the real opportunity is not chasing the biggest number on YouTube. It is making sure a disabled veteran who legitimately qualifies for two separate federal programs does not assume that receiving one automatically closes the door to the other. Subscribe to Benefit Compass USA and share this video with a disabled veteran who receives VA compensation but has never checked SSDI eligibility. Check your work credits, Understand Social Security's separate disability test, use the expedited process if you are 100% PNT, and submit accurate medical and employment information. This video is for general education and does not provide individualized legal, tax, or financial advice.